With fears of a looming market correction, some investors are wondering if it's time to sell off their portfolios. An article on the Morningstar Financial website says those who panic sell are prone to make emotional decisions that might undermine the success of their plans. But it talks about 4 reasons when you should sell. What do you think of those, Brian? And what would you recommend in each of those scenarios?
Well, the article says you're getting close to retirement and need to de-risk. I say that really fast a lot of times to people. They're like, de-risk? You know, what's de-risk? I'm like, de-risk.
De-risk, yeah.
Yeah, and risk tolerance grows, with experience, of course, right? So risk capacity, in other words, the ability to absorb big losses in your equity portfolios. Bonds typically don't have big losses, also don't have big gains.
Yeah.
Right?
Safe for boring.
Right, exactly. And it used to be 20 plus years ago, you actually saw a lot more bonds in retiree portfolios just because they were actually kicking out some nice income. You get 5, 6, 7%. And
were they up that high before?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I mean, for not a real high risk bond, right? You can get 5, 6, 7, you get 10% dividends, right?
But they're risky.
Yeah. Right. It's like oil stocks will pay out 15%.
I just always think of bonds as just boring and safe.
Well, they are safer, right, than equity stocks. So, so that's one reason if you're close to retirement. And we just measure it on a scale of 1 to 10. We have risk tolerance software. We walk you through. We say, okay, look, you're a 6. Your current portfolio is an 8.8, which is very similar to the S&P 500. And that might be why during COVID, I asked you the question, did you sell at the bottom? You said, absolutely. I lost $450,000. I panicked. I couldn't do it. Like you were taking too much risk, right? If you would have been.
So that's what they mean when they say panic sell.
Right, at the bottom, because they just didn't know where. How do you know where the bottom is?
Nobody knows that.
And you lose $450,000 in 3.5, 4 weeks. Ouch, that hurts, right? I mean, he was like, I wasn't sleeping, and I had to do something because I had to get my life back.
Yeah.
And so he did. And then, of course, he doesn't know when to get back in. He's like, is this a correction? Is it really going up again? So he waited about a month or so after, missed out on a lot of the upside returns, right? Sold at the bottom, then waited while it had gone up. So that's one of the, you just got to get it dialed in, right? You got to get it dialed in. Are you a 4? That's fine. People apologize. Actually, we had a client, they scored it and they were like a 2.8, and they're like, "Oh, Brian, I am so sorry." I'm like, "What are you talking? What are you apologizing?
It's your money, dude.
This isn't this isn't a right or wrong answer. You're not punished. Get over here. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Get in the corner.
Yeah.
It's not like that. You have
to
pick
out a twig.
Yeah.
And then come back.
Right. Yeah. Get back here. I mean, you're getting a spanking. It's nothing wrong. It's okay if we dial it in and get you at 2.8 and invest it appropriately. You're not going to panic. And this recent correction, we literally had one client call and he couldn't log into his portfolio to see what was going on.
Yeah.
One out of, from the top to the bottom, the Nasdaq was over 15% drop. The S&P at one point had done 10% loss. So you go, wait a second. Why? Because we have our clients dialed into the appropriate risk. Some are actually invested like a 7 or 8. Some are invested like a 2.5 or 2. It doesn't.
But you're also managing expectations as well. Right,
exactly. Yeah. And he called and he's like, "Brian, I can't get into he forgot his password, and I just want to get completely out of the market." Right, the market that we just got destroyed. And I pulled up his portfolio, the bigger account, and I said, "You got all that? We've been out for like a week and a half. Your equities are gone. Like you're out. We have a little bit of bonds, but those aren't moving." Right? It didn't lose anything today. So, I feel so much better. I was like, hold on, let me get you on the phone with Megan here and get your password so you can get logged back in.
Yeah.
So you can check this yourself. Just because the market has done something, or the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Dow, or whatever you're watching as a benchmark, doesn't mean your accounts have done that, right? So I think you also need to make a different adjustment if you have a short-term investment goal. We've had people say, look, I'm going to buy a car. This is our car fund, and we want you to invest it. Here's a car fund. It's got 50, 100,000. We want you to invest it. Okay, right now I notice that you have all small tech companies in this car fund.
Oh, man.
And then your Roth IRA, you've got bonds in there and large cap stocks, and you've got mutual funds, very diversified, a risk score of like 4. and your short-term car fund is a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong, guys.
Yeah.
Roth, you don't need. You're never going to probably need it for how much money you guys have and how much income you have. They're like, oh, do you think we're taking too much? I'm like, yes. So we pull up each individual security in our software, and it's like everything's a 10. Small tech companies that have recently just got hammered. Some were down 30 or 40%.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because the tech got crushed, right, on a wide scale. But some of them just.
So did the crypto coin.
Yeah,
got crushed too.
Crypto, Bitcoin.
A lot of stuff that's bit the dust.
So the point is that, let's dial this in. If you need this in 2 years to buy the new car, that the average car is going to be $150,000 for like a Honda Accord, right?
Compact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to make it a little more conservative. And in fact, you need to make it a lot more conservative. That's okay. It's not a problem. It's just, we got to adjust it, sell off some things, make sure we don't have a lot of large capital gains because it is a taxable account, and just make sure that it's available for you. And when you go to buy, right, when you need to buy the car, there's not a 30% or 40% correction. And then you're really upset because the car money's gone, right? And now you got to dip into something else. So that's very important when you got a short-term investment goal, buying a car, buying a house. And there's just a big chance that, things can get worse, right? Investors always become nervous during periods of losses, and you can just need to get it right first, right? So I think that's the big thing.